So when we try and tell our story, we can map it out to get feedback, reflect on it, check for errors, introduce facts, set up shots beforehand, and things like that. Storyboarding isn't difficult. You don't have to be a great artist to do it, and you should probably always do it. Mostly because it does three things really well. It focuses your message, it makes your shoot easier, and it makes the edit easier. If you're making short videos, you don't have a lot of time to say what you need to, and a storyboard will help with this. If you're making a longer video, it's really easy to wander off topic and add things in that don't need to be there. Now, a storyboard doesn't mean that you can't be agile and shoot other stuff as well. It doesn't mean that you can't go off script and shoot those dynamic moments either. It means that if they don't happen, you still got a good story to tell, where those unexpected moments are framed within a larger story. Especially in science filmmaking, there always tends to be a point to the video, to educate, a call to action, to update. Honing in on your key message will allow you to storyboard much easier. Make sure you're always coming back to that one idea, and if it doesn't, consider taking it out. It also makes the time spent on the shoot easier as well. If you've thought early on about what you want to shoot, where to shoot it, and what to say, it'll interrupt your research less, and that means that it's more likely to be filmed. It'll also help the people around you, your peers, supervisors, and fixers. They'll greater understand what you need to film and may be more willing to allow you time for shooting. Lastly, if you've storyboarded and shot to it, it makes editing so much easier. If you already know what you wanted to shoot and what you shot, it's like having an instruction manual of how to put it together. Otherwise, you're trying to create a story from lots of clips that might not have a story in them. It takes time, it's frustrating, and the end product just won't be as good. So when you're storyboarding, there's a few different ways to do it. The classic way is to have a series of boards out of which you can tell your story. And the advantage of these is that you can also frame up your shots on the boards, so you know what they're going to look like. And this can be really handy if you're working with another person who's going to be holding the camera. I tend to storyboard another way though. I do it through writing. So I'll write the scenes and the script and deliver those lines back to camera in the field. This way I can check the facts and I can make sure the video runs to time. I tend to work with mood boards so I know how I want the interview framed or shot to look. Remember that these are called storyboards, but you don't need to tell a story in the Hansel and Gretel sense. It just needs to be a clear message with progression and a point. There needs to be links and segues from one clip to the next and the next, so you don't lose your audience. So here's an example. If I'm in the field with a team and they're taking ice cores and talking about them, and then suddenly in the next scene, they're in the lab studying them, well, that's a big jump. What happened to the time between the coring and then in the lab? A neat way around this is just 10 seconds of footage, a few shots of them packing up the cores in the field, and then opening them in the lab. Your audience just needs to think about that progression, the way one scene leads into another. So it's not really a storyboard at all, it's more of a narrative board. How do we get from one thing to the next in a way that makes sense? And you need to do that work up front, so your audience does need to do it while they're watching. They'll thank you for it, I promise.